Hello everyone. We are on day 4 of 21 days of receiving good and Aura Gold. I'm putting yours up. So you wrote, could you do a tapping video about receiving goodness of lots of good, happy money, good, healthy, energized body, good, loving friendships, good spiritual connections with God and all, and good life. And I decided I'm actually going to put these together because from this standpoint, I think this is so true. And I talked about this, I think, on day 1. This idea of, I love this term, grasping. Hey, Sophia, to you and your beautiful girls and your husband, of course, too. So I just always love seeing the pictures of you and your family on Facebook. So thanks for being here. So the idea of grasping, and oh my God, I'm so done trying to manifest, which I said this idea, in trying to create these, like trying to do this list of things. If I do this and this and this, then I'll get these things. Like if I do this, I'll get the good, happy money. If I do this, I'll get the healthy, energizing body. If I do this, I'll get loving friendships. And I love it, again, put this way, it's the small self, or I'm going to say it this way, the very human part of us. You'll hear me repeat this a lot, but repetition is the mother of skill. So to me, we're balancing out a spiritual side of us and a human side of us and learning to integrate those, whatever your beliefs are. So feel free to believe as you want. I'm not here to try and convince anybody of anything. Other than your own truth. But so in the very human side of us, we get caught up in, and I love these terms, my money, my business, my friendships, my happiness, my spirituality. And not that we do it on a conscious level, but it's that, like, I've got to make this happen. I've got to put this list of things out there, and I'm going to follow, hey Barbara, I'm going to follow what's told, I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to create this. And here's the way you know the difference. One truly, it can feel exciting at first when you think about, I'm going to manifest this, but what do you do when it doesn't happen? What do you do when it doesn't happen? And then you got the notification. Awesome. It's working. This has been such an interesting week with technology for me so far. It's been kind of kooky. So I'm so happy to hear that, Barbara. But so again, it goes back to this. I've made this mistake so many times, and it's that I've got to, I want good, happy money to come to me. I want good, healthy, and energizing, healthy body. I'm not mocking anyone on this. It's to help create an understanding. It's the nightmare that I'm going to say we've all been put into is, if it's going to be, it's up to me. And this is what I said in the first video. So it's this grasping, this, oh God, I hope this happens. Oh, I really want this to happen. Oh, I really want to manifest this. Oh, I want more money. Oh, I want, more clients. Oh, I want a better job. Oh, I want better friendships. Oh, I want better connection. Oh God, I want my health to be better. And it's that if you have to have it, you can't have it. If you can take it or leave it, you can have it. And that speaks to attachment. So when we can free ourselves from the, I have to have this. So are you willing? This is where tapping comes in. Are you willing to not have a healthy body? Are you willing to release the attachment to having to have that? Releasing the attachment, I have to have this certain amount of money show up. Releasing the attachments to these things. The amazing thing to me is when we release the attachment, we create the space for the things that we desire to come to us. And I like this idea of, I'll probably do this video tomorrow, shifting desires into preferences. So instead of like, I have to have this, I have this desire. There's nothing wrong with having desires, but it's this grasping, this gripping, this, I'm going to put my shopping list together for the universe. And I've heard this said. I've actually heard this said on videos from pretty powerful people in a worldly state. It is like the universe is your shopping mall. Give them your list and say it and you'll create it. You'll co-create it. Instead of, No, this isn't the universe that I'm trying to manipulate and get to do what I wanted to do. This is this divine, infinite, loving being that I want to allow this to take me over, to do what it wills through me, to surrender to that. I mean, and that can be so scary. And trust me, for me, like professional doubter, professional lack of truster. But as I learn it, the process of releasing my grasping, having to have these things turn out that way. When I catch myself, I've got to create this in my business. I've got to do this thing. This has to come. That's when I go, oh, I'm caught back up in the very human side of me that thinks it's all up to me. Instead of, oh my God, what a relief to surrender, to let it go, to be like, I suspect that if I turn this over to God, the universe, the divine, my higher self, whatever I believe, there is a plan in place here that is so much greater than I can see in my limited sight in human form. I want to tune into that part of me that sees this greater vision, that feels that greater vision. So when you do that, when you surrender, then inspired action has a space to come through. It's not like passively sitting around doing nothing, but you're allowing the space and the opening. Hey, Melinda, for you're allowing the space for inspired action to come through. And many of you have heard this story. So a couple of years back, and I was doing the EFT radio show podcast that I just found out is coming to a conclusion. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's time. And I was like, I that day, my show was due the next day. I literally was like, I'm a blank slate. I have no freaking idea what I want to do as a topic, but I was pressurizing myself, getting down. I gotta figure this out. I gotta work harder. So I had my whole schedule scheduled out. And all of a sudden, it came to the time that I had scheduled in for me to do the radio show. And granted, I had a due date the next morning. And it was like, I had a very packed day. And I was like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I have no inspiration. I have nothing. And I kept hearing this voice, go for a mountain bike ride, go for a mountain bike ride, go for a mountain bike ride. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't go for a mountain bike ride. I mean, I've got my list, I've got my things I've got to do. I've got my to-do list. I have to do this. And I was just pounding on myself. And all of a sudden I'm like, I'm going for the mountain bike ride. I'm trusting the voice. And I went and I felt like a little kid and I'm pedaling on my bike and it was a great ride. It was a beautiful day. And guess what happened? The inspiration came to me while I was out there having fun, enjoying my day. Hey, Aura. Hey, Dawn. And I came home. It took me 40 minutes to record, edit, and upload that show. That's what I'm talking about, is we ignore, and we're all taught this. We're taught it. It's like to fall asleep at the wheel. We're taught to ignore that inspiration. We're taught to live in a culture that teaches fear and scarcity, and you're limited in time, you're limited in resources, there's a limited amount of people, there's a limited amount of money, a scarcity mentality. And how do you know if you're in a scarcity mentality? You just don't feel good. It's that if you feel that activated, oh God, that's when you know there's no way that this comes from a benevolent, whatever you believe is out there. There's no way. To me, there's no way. You are free to believe what you want. But as I catch this more and more, and this is what I love about this, that has brought me so much relief. When I catch myself in that, oh God, I'm like, oh, now I can catch it and go, oh, that's my ego. That's an ego. I don't even want to say ego is a bad thing. I don't even like that word either. That is the very human part of me that believes I've got to create this. I've got to somehow manifest this. I've got to draw this into me. I've got to draw on the friends. I've got to draw on the money. I've got to draw on the health. I've got to do it. And Health-wise, I'm on an anti-candida diet right now. It's just something I'm completely inspired to do, and it's been really easy for me to do for the most part, other than moments. And it's like, it's not work. In fact, I'm enjoying cooking now because I'm like, oh, I waited till the time that it felt right. If I was trying to force myself to do this before I was ready, it's not going to work. So this is like any of these things, if you're grasping, if you're feeling yourself like, oh God, I really have to have this, this is when you want to tap. Because that deals with the very human part of us that's stepped into the nightmare that the world tells us, if it's going to be, it's up to you, and you've got to manifest it, you've got to create it, and put your vision board up there and make it happen. And then you feel like crap because it's not happening. I cannot speak to this enough now. So think about, again, we're going back to this. If you want more money in your life, if you want better health, and I'm looking at yours, Aura, this is so many great topics. If you want better connections, better friendships. I actually recently was like, I hole up in my home by myself all the time. I hike by myself with my dogs a lot. I mountain bike with my husband a lot of times by myself. I connect with people online, but I do so much by myself. And I was like, I want a hiking buddy and I want a riding partner, and we're moving. And I was really resistant to the move. And then I was like, okay, I was tapping to release that. And then I found out a girlfriend of mine is going to be living 4 miles from me. And she has a dog and she hikes all the time. And she's like, oh my God, we'll hike and we'll go to lunch and we'll do these things. So I put it out there and then I just let it go. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, it's coming. Because I was realizing this is something I want. But I wasn't going to be like, I'm just going to start calling people and trying to make people be friends with me. It was just like, I want it. I have no idea how it's going to come, but I see it and I'm going to put it out there. And then it happened. So that feels light and easy. Even with this shifting some stuff in my health, I was like, I don't know, show me when it's the time to do this. Give me the inspired action. And all of a sudden I woke up one morning, I'm like, I'm ready. And it's been so easy. And I even have a girlfriend that said to me, Marti, I was talking to my dad about you. Like, you've stepped into this and you're just so committed. I would even say it's just more like I knew the time was right. And that's what's made it easy. Even a week before that, if I said, I've got to do this, there's no freaking way I would have done it. I would have been sneaking stuff all over the place. So think about what it is that feels like it's missing and the pressure that you feel like you put on yourself to make it happen. I got to do another vision board. I got to find that next program. I've got to do a book. Oh, I've got to. It's that thing that if you see something, maybe a program, a book, something come out of it, like here's the energy, not like, oh, that's exciting. It's, oh God, I got to buy that or I'm going to be missing out. That kind of thing. Oh, I've got to make these calls or that kind of thing. Hi, Marti and all friends here. Thank you all. Much love and appreciation. Thanks, Aura. These are your topics. So that thing, and how does it feel? So feel into your body like, oh man, that feels heavy. I love this term. Does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? If you're the one that's got to create it, and you've got to figure out your next marketing strategy, your next person that you have to call to be friends with. What's the next possibility for you to bring in money? And you're like, ugh, oh God, it feels so heavy. What is that? What's that thing? And just go, I know we did this. I've got to create this. So karate chop. Even though there it is, I want more. I want more money. I've got to make this happen now. I just want to let it go. Note to myself, does it feel like, yeah, totally, Melinda. I want more. I want more of it all. And I've been wanting and wanting and not really receiving. and my confidence sinks. There must be something wrong with me that I cannot create this or co-create it. I choose to acknowledge my feelings now. Even though there's something missing in me, there's something wrong in me. I have wanted and wanted, and still it's not coming. What the hell is wrong with me? I choose to acknowledge my feelings now. Even though I am wanting and wanting, and it's exhausting, because all these things I want, some show up, kinda. Most of them, not so much. Choose to acknowledge my feelings now. Go to the eyebrow. I am so stuck in this cycle. The cycle of failing. Ugh. Wanting and wanting. There's no ease with this. I feel like I'm being left behind. I'm so willing to do what it takes. And I've done it. I've done A plus B plus C. I've done the 5-step process, the 12-step process, the 3-step process, the 4-step process. If it's out there, I've probably done it. And it's still not coming to me. So what the hell is wrong with me? That I cannot seem to create these things that I want in my life. What if I've just been in a nightmare? A pretty epic mass consciousness nightmare all around me. What if it's possible that all the ducks are in fact flying in the wrong direction? We're all in a nightmare of grasping, wanting, trying so hard to create. And what if, by letting go, how do I do that? Surrendering all of these desires, these wants, just a little bit, it creates an opening for a much better way. I'm very motivated. I've been motivated a long time, but not quite so inspired. Somehow, some way, those wires got switched around. So instead of being inspired and taking inspired action and feeling really good, I just kept trying to motivate myself. Okay, what's the next step? But I've done all the steps. And still, these things that I want are so elusive to me. What if it's possible to let go of the fight that I didn't even realize I was in? The pushing, the trying, so hard to create. What if it is possible to just take a breath and just entertain the idea that there is a better way? Yeah, but what's the better way? What if I can be shown, guided and directed to the way that's best for me, independent of what anyone else, even Marti, says should work for me? I'm a unique individual with my unique path ahead of me. I've just been stuck in this pushing energy for so long. And I live in a culture that reveres it. I would love to lay down my sword in this fight. Take a breath and allow answers I need to come to me with grace and ease, and have more fun. Why did I want to do any of this anyway? Why do I want any of the feelings I want anyway? Why do I want the things I want? I actually want the things for the feelings that they bring me. How can I find those feelings right now? What can I find in today? The simplest tiny thing that could help elicit the feeling in me right here and now that I've been seeking. Maybe it's watching children play, watching my adorable animals, stepping out in nature, taking that in, noticing the health I do have now, the money I do have now, the friendships I do have right now. And what if that can make all the difference? And take a breath. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's always fun to see people live. Yeah, Melinda, I got to make it happen. And I love this idea that we live in a culture that teaches this. We live in a consumer society, and there's nothing wrong to me with wanting things, but somewhere along the way that got transformed, like having desires for things. We're human, we're in a body. That's part of being human in the human condition, but it's when we fall asleep to the idea like, oh God, it's all up to me. And it's this idea of grasping. To me, the easiest way to think of grasping is it's that I have to have it. Oh God, okay, I'll kind of let go. Okay, I'll kind of let go, but can you still make this happen for me anyway? And it's a work in progress. This is not like I said, it's not something, oh, tap 3 times and suddenly I'm going to feel better. I'm just going to think happy thoughts and it's all going to be okay. It takes, if you've lived and grown up and you did not learn to trust and allow, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, it's a great idea, Marty. Sounds really good. I'm going to do it. No, it's practicing. That many of you know the story where I said, I'm a professional doubter. I just put it out there to God, the universe. Consumers mean escaping the feelings. Right. I love it, Ruth. And I was like, I'm a professional doubter and I really need a freaking sign like in my face that I will recognize. So I'm testing you. I'm testing you, universe. I'm testing you, God. And I know I'm told I'm not supposed to do it, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to test you anyway. That's literally how I put it out there. I need a sign. I can be that like asleep at the wheel in my face. And I had a book and I opened it. And when I opened it, it was exactly what I needed to. It was like, it couldn't have been more perfect. And I literally started to cry. I'm like, oh God. And even then I was like, okay, I'm a step closer to starting to trust. It wasn't like, yes, I'm all in. So this idea, this is the simplest way what I would say take away from this video is throughout the rest of today or tonight, depending on where you are, or tomorrow, wherever you are, is think about when you catch yourself, this is your indicator. When you just notice you start feeling like, ugh, check in and go, what's happening for me? I guarantee you somehow, some way, your language is, I've got to do this, I should, or something like that. There's something going on in a way that you've learned to push yourself to believing, I've got to create better health. I've got to figure out the next plan. I got to Google on the internet. Nothing wrong with doing any of that, but it's the energy and intention behind it. So if you find yourself in that, it's like, all I got to do right now is notice that I am so grasping, so pushing, so gripping, and I just want to soothe that even just a little bit. And if you do that daily, over time, cumulative effect, you'll start to notice, oh God, I feel like such a relief. I cannot tell you how I feel like my adrenals are coming back into a better state now because I was so caught in what's the next thing I've got to do, and this total pushing energy, be it about money, health, friendships, spirituality, anything. So, all right, yay, true. It's a feeling of lack of all things that we are told we should have. So for some reason when I hit see more, that we can live a good, happy, wealthy life here on earth, and why we don't have it. So if you think I have to have it. Oh, okay. Well, how can I let this go a little bit right now? And what can I appreciate that's right in front of me, right here and now, that maybe I haven't? Barbara, yeah, we react in desperation. Oh my God, totally. And I gotta say, I'm a fan of desperation from this standpoint. Because desperation, me reaching points of desperation, is honestly the thing that has called me back into connection with something greater than myself. In my most desperate moments, when I've been wrung out and exhausted, I would tell you, that's why I'm a fan of desperation in that way. I was like, for me, it's been, what if this thing that you have been struggling for so long is the thing you're like, oh God, it's the very thing that is going to lead you back to a connection with something greater than yourself, that can actually have you living a life that you're like, oh my God, this is the life that I wanted. And it's so much easier now than me thinking I have to do it on my own. I'm letting go more and more. I'm creating space for inspired action to come to me. And through that inspired action, I take the steps, and guess what? I feel better. Yep, desperation can be a great teacher. 100% agree with that, Barbara. I know it's been true in my life. So anyway, thank you all for being here live. Barbara, Ara, let's see who else I can find on here. Julie, Melinda, Ruth, Dawn. Let's see, so many. Sophia, and anyone else I missed, I'm sorry, that's who I can see here. Have a great, great, great rest of your day, night, morning, wherever you are on this wonderful planet that we all share together. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for day 5. And Ara, thank you so much for the topic. Great one. Bye for now.